didn't understand. So his accent is quite good.
And the most important, he speaks slowly, and so it's really nice to hear.
Yes. Sandeep, you always open your mic when you get a compliment.
No. Just I was listening, I was trying to sleep, but I don't know what happened to me today. I'm trying, but
I think, Sandeep, let me interrupt. I think you are in love with someone. That's the reason you are not able to get sleep.
Who has stolen your sleep?
I see that. I think.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, because when you are in love,
I can see that you are from India.
Yeah.
A lot of people from India.
Yes, that's why India is the first largest population in the world.
Yeah, that's a pleasure talking to you.
Rishi,
You are from Brazil.
Yeah, Rishi, I am love with not someone.
I'm
I
from
love
Brazil.
with to learn English.
Sorry, Sandeep. Like your voice was not that clear.
Okay.
Can you please repeat?
Yeah, actually, I was telling I'm not love with someone. Actually, I am love in to learn English to listen to you.
Oh, so when you got a compliment, then you felt like that it's the right time to open my mic and just try to listen some more compliments.
Maybe.
Yes, by the way, Rishi is very passionate about learning English, and you can't even believe that he's such kind of a guy. If you just ask him, you just need to wake up at 4 o'clock. He can just make an alarm and just get up at the 4 o'clock. He's that kind of person. I love this kind of a dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally believe in you, Mohit, because I have seen him in many parties. He just likes to speak to native speakers, and especially female native speakers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why you asked him that who stolen your sleep.
Sandeep, am I wrong?
No, but yeah, actually, already that I want to speak like native speakers. So
what I feel is that wait, Rishi. So Rishi, Sandeep, there are two possibilities. The first thing is that if you just try to talk with the native speakers, if you don't entertain them, they just the learning journey will not go longer. That's what I feel. And the second thing, as per my experience, you should have to be like a puppet. Like if you're not helping them, you should be like a puppet. If they are going to say that, you just have to go with the one thing. Yes. So don't be like a servant. You are already teacher. Just a paid, just to try to bring one teacher and just get respect and do go for that. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I'm always ready to teach her one language, that is Hindi. If she or he is ready to learn from me, to me.
What Sandeep is doing is correct. You should always speak with a native. That is the fastest way to learn English with a proper accent. When I say proper, I don't mean to disrespect anyone. I mean English accent with a London accent. Finding a Londoner and speaking with a Londoner is the fastest way to speak English in a manner that everyone will understand.
Guys, in this moment, I'm not so much worried with my accent. I just want to communicate and be understanding when I am talking. I would like that people can understand me. I think my accent, I will.
She is right as well.
The accent is good. You speak Portuguese. I like your accent.
Her accent is also quite good. Even if she doesn't speak like a different accent as well, still we can understand. So what I feel is that I also have been using this application for a long time. I haven't got any difficulty since I joined on Tandem, but yes, like sometimes one or two word that I faced difficulty. Other than that, I don't get any difficulty. And yes, when it comes to like sometimes, not sometimes, like a lot of times it happens when I just in my job, if I just try to have a conversation with UK, then it's quite complicated. Other than it's okay on Tandem, we should be on our own accent. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I think
I studied English for I think 5 or 10 years. 5 from 10 years in my life, but I don't have so many people to speak, and I discovered this app last week, and I can. And I'm finding a lot of people here that can speak in English, and I think it can be good for my improving my skills in English.
Yeah, Priscilla, I think there is like difference between accents and like pronunciation. Like unless you are pronouncing that word in a correct sound, like not in a correct, in a correct manner or way, I don't know. Like people say like coffee or like coffee, like cafe or like coffee. Every coffee is coffee only. Coffee is coffee. Everyone will understand. Coffee, don't say toffee. If you say coffee, then
coffee. The correct pronunciation is coffee. Coffee.
And Rishi, hotel.
Hotel.
Coffee.
Vegetable. सामने वालों को समझ में अगर आ रहा है कि हाँ भाई वो कॉफी है, खत्म बात.
That's true. But Hemant, yes. But this is also true as well. Like for example, right now, if you know how to speak English, still you are just looking forward to go in another level, right? What I feel is that like language is like the journey. The more we study, the more we feel that we don't know anything. The only thing is that we don't have to give up. Each and everything is really important for us if we just try to connect with our career, if we just try to connect with anywhere. Speaking with equality needs effort, and people, they don't want to get in uncomfortable. They just want to be comfortable. So sometimes it works, but still, if you're not if you just want to have a conversation, people, or by talking only you just want to understand, and by talking you don't want to look into your accent, then it's like each and every vision is good for you. So it's all about each and individual aim, what kind of aim he's looking for.
So I have a doubt. People here can speak in English as a second language?
Sorry, can you please repeat question, Priscilla?
Of course. People can can speak English as a second language. So you are Indian, and you can you speak English and Hindu? I don't know. Can I say this word?
Hindi.
So you speak two languages.
Okay, Mohit, I think. Wait. Sorry.
Oh, I asked it to you because here in Brazil we just speak Portuguese, just one language.
I understand. In your language you say that bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite.
Yeah.
Querida.
I think
I have a lot of friends from Brazil.
Am I having some network issue? Can you see some red Wi-Fi on my, or is it with Priscilla or Priscilla?
Neither of you.
Either of you. Okay. So Priscilla, I want to tell you, most of the time in India, people, there are different languages, as you know. So most of the time, if you see, there is also a difference between South and North India, and the origin of the language or the language family is different. So I think if you exclude South India, that to one or two state, or else other all states of India, people can at least speak basic, or they can speak normal Hindi, okay, apart from their mother tongue. But sometimes it happens, like you will see if you go in some states or in South India, like just one, Tamil Nadu or Kerala, I think also in some parts of Telangana, they have English as their second language, or maybe another. If a person is from Telangana, he speak Telugu, and he might also speak Kannada also, because they are more similar. And the same with Tamil and Malayalam. So Tamil person can understand a little bit Malayalam, and vice versa. So that time you will see like Hindi is not the second language. But except these two states, or like some part from the South India, I think most of the people in India can speak Hindi.
No, actually, Rishi, why she asked this question? Because she must have talked to a lot of Indian people where she noticed that their English are quite good. So she must, like, after talking to them, she must be thinking that like India's like a second one is English. So Priscilla, I just want to say that like in our country, like if you know English, it is like a cherry on cake, because most of our companies are designed in such a way that we have to answer them in an interview, during an interview, or like in clearing rounds. So one must know English. That in your country it is not quite normal, but in our country that one must know English language in order to get an interview. That is the reason people are trying to learn this language to make their career better with this language. And so most of the people nowadays engaging in this language pretty well.
Yeah. Hi, Samyak.
So I think it's a little bit hard to find here in Brazil people who speak in English, I think. I don't know why. I can't explain. But I think it's just because maybe people prefer to speak Spanish, I think. I don't know. I really don't know.
In our country, people are also speaking the same language. For example, if I know Hindi, so if there is any one of my friend, if I start talking in English, then he starts saying that, oh, you are very English man. Why don't you speak in Hindi? So a lot of time, this kind of barrier comes, then we start speaking in Hindi. Otherwise, we also want to learn, but people, they are not comfortable to speak in English, because during the conversation, if we just try to, come with our Hindi, then conversation becomes interesting, and each and every word feels like that we are connected. But once we just change our native language, then it feels like that we are pretending to be a good person and just trying to say that like this and that.
Yeah, actually we can't express emotion while using English. We feel so better when we talk in Hindi. We can connect with Saul. Yeah.
Well,
Keep
speak English, and because I speak English, I connect more with my emotions through English words. What you're saying is simply you need to increase your vocabulary. Once you've increased your vocabulary in English, then you too will be expressing yourself in English.
Yeah.
You are right, Manswa. What I feel is that, like, it's not about vocabulary. It is all about the language that what we have been spoken for a long time. Like, for example, if one has been speaking English for 25 years, after that, if he just change his language into another one with friends, so that kind of a connection and that kind of a thing doesn't comes, because there are a lot of words in Hindi and in English, like I'm talking about, like a like a word which is not exactly the same with the meaning of a language of like in English as well. That's what I feel, because in Hindi we have some kind of proverbs. Uski लाठी उसी की भैंस, उसमें भी बहुत सारी अलग अलग है, like we just say that pit curry, like in this kind of stuff. Sometimes quite complicated, but you are right as well, like like a learning, but still, like like Hindi is Hindi, like our native language is a native language. Like you also have a native language, you also feel good to have a conversation with people in your language. And if we just change the language to talk with your friends, so you don't get that kind of a vibes which you can get in your own language. So that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's really a good point. But sometimes, Mohit, I struggle with Hindi. Like if I'm trying to speak in Hindi, like sometimes I face problem. I don't know. But when it's English nowadays, it's possible to speak and to express my thoughts. But yeah, as you mentioned about some proverbs or like
Actually,
things like
Rishi, nowadays I am seeing you like you are using, you are speaking in English so many hours in daily basis. That's why
right now he's in Germany, not in India.
But still,
So, yeah,
I am
that's
seeing
the
you
reason.
mostly in tandem. They are speaking with in party.
Yes, Sandeep, because yes, that is really a good reason for this degradation of my Hindi language. Because yeah, it's been like 1.5 years. First, I was living in Italy, and now I'm in Netherlands since 6 months. So yes, like I have to speak English daily if I'm interacting with not non-Indians, or also sometimes with Indians. Like yesterday, I went to a zoo and with my friend. So also, yeah, so they don't speak Hindi. Okay, so I have to speak with them in English, although they are Indians. So this thing happens. So maybe that is the reason. But still, I want to focus on Hindi. In between, I used to create these Hindi parties also, like in some days, in order to improve my Hindi. And I was also trying to speak in like pure Hindi, not to use any English words. So it also helps sometimes, like in order to have your good vocabulary. Because Mohit, when you speak Hindi, or I think everyone, when we speak Hindi, we use a lot of English words.
But one thing, Rishi, we mostly use English word in Hindi, but when we try to speak pure Hindi, can be possible. But it will,
it is possible,
Yeah.
like, but it will it makes yeah, मतलब देखो आप हिंदी बोलने की कोशिश करेंगे ना, अगर आप बिना अंग्रेजी शब्द के इस्तेमाल किए बिना इस्तेमाल किए, तो फिर क्या होता है, हम धीरे धीरे बात करते हैं, और
but
कभी
still
कभी ये भी होता है कि
Sandeep, it's all about like for example, if we just see that in English, like 30 years ago there was a different English. Now English has changed. It's the same as like Hindi as well. It has been a long time ago. The Hindi was different. Hindi used to be spoken different, but now it has changed. So it is all about that. But still, what I want to say is that, as we know all that, we have a one motto to learn new language that we can learn, that for the English as well, Sandeep, for you as well, right?
Yeah.
So what is the best thing in you? You always try to create host, like you are always trying to be a host. That's the best part. What I feel is that, because once you just to be a host, then you can open a lot of doors to have a conversation with people, and by talking to them each and every second, you are just learning and gaining a lot of things directly or indirectly. That's what I feel. So that's the good way to learn a new language, like to be a host.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But Mohit, what do you think about this adulteration of language with some foreign language? For example, I have seen I have interacted with many people who speak like maybe Farsi or like Russian or a different languages, So they don't use these English words that often as we use these English words in our daily conversation. So, what do you think on this topic? Like, should we use these English words in our spoken Hindi, or should we try to avoid these words and try to speak at least our pure, not really pure, but maybe like as much as possible.
What I feel is okay. Hiren, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, in this thing, I have different opinion because language is something that is just to convey your message. So it doesn't matter for me if I speak Hindi or English. That is completely related to conveying the message. So that's what I think, at least.
No. His question was different, by the way.
I asked different questions. Like,
anyway.
I will repeat my question. Okay. So, for example, there is a Farsi, Persian-speaking person, okay? When he speaks with his friend or anyone, okay, he's speaking with Persian people. So when he's speaking Persian language, he doesn't use Hindi. He doesn't use Hindi also. He doesn't use English words while speaking, because they're speaking their own language. But when he's speaking English, he uses all English words. He doesn't use Persian while speaking English. So when he's speaking Persian, he's speaking pure Persian. When he's speaking English, he's speaking pure English. I'm not saying like you don't learn other languages. I'm trying to say like, what is your opinion on, but okay, you said it just languages for just conveying this thing. That is, I got your message. But I think like, after some years, like, because I have one friend, he's from Karnataka. He said this thing to me, like when I'm speaking, he's living in Italy. When he's speaking with his like family or like some friends on call, okay. When he's talking in Kannada, he's speaking Kannada, but he's using a lot of English words. And he said like when his foreigner friends were listening to him, they understand some things from it. Like at that extent, he uses English words. So I think like when you have your like mother tongue, it's not, I know languages are evolving, but at least I think you should try to speak what's pure your native language. That's the thing. Or what, like, it's my opinion. I don't know about yours. Maybe you can share one by one.
Well, you speak depending on who you're speaking to. So if I'm speaking to English people, then yes, I'll be speaking in English. But the main reason I speak in English, because that's really the main language I know. I speak in English because it's a language I am most comfortable with, and nearly everyone I know speaks English.
I think, Mohit, did you understand my question? I think maybe I'm wrong while explaining.
No, you are right. And because India was colonized by Britishers, we were colonized by Mughals, Arab invaders, Persian invaders. That's why we have so many Arabic words and Persian words and English words in our language. When you were talking about Persia, I think in Persia they have some Arabic words in their language because Persia was also invaded by Arabs. But in case of Nepal, when you will speak with anybody from Nepal, you will find out that they were using pure Hindi words. Why? Because Nepal was never colonized by any invaders. So I think it also depends on our, who invaded us and what kind of culture were dominated in India. For example, let's take example of Brazil. Right now, the national language or the official language of Brazil is Portuguese. Why? Because Portuguese people invaded Brazil and they wiped out the whole population of native Brazilians. But in India, we got our independence, so we have our language. But also we were colonized by these invaders, so we also have their touch in our language. For example, Bazar, Nazar. So these are Persian words and Arabic words. So, yeah, so what you were saying, I think that's the reason why we are speaking and why that guy from Iran, he never used an English word. I think that's the reason, one of the reasons.
There are really few. Okay, I will ask you one question. Like when you speak Hindi, I don't recognize that much English in your Hindi. Okay, but maybe you yourself more. So can you compare yourself and your parents when they speak Hindi? Do they use that amount of English words as you use, or do you use more than them? And what about your grandparents? What do you think about them also? How much percentage do you use?
Of course, I use more because I was from CBSE. I mean, I have taken the course, and most of my course is in English. And also, when I was in school, whole of my curriculum was in English. So that's why I think, because I was influenced by my education, so that's why I use a lot of English words while I speak Hindi.
Rishi, you are right as well. And like, this is the only reason sometimes when I just try to, exchange language with foreigners. Like, for example, James, last time when I was teaching him, and in the middle of the conversation, I was explaining him that in Hindi, वो stage पर गया. I didn't even know what do I have to say that stage. Stage को मैं क्या बोलूं? So अगर मैं इससे ये बोलूं कि क्या बोलते हैं मुझे नहीं आता, तो ये सोचेगा इसे अपनी लैंग्वेज नहीं आती है. और
एग्जैक्टली
और तो कई बार ऐसा होता है, जैसे हम गुड मॉर्निंग बोलते हैं. एक बार क्या हुआ, मैं बचपन से आज तक गुड मॉर्निंग आई जस्ट हैव बीन लाइक सेइंग गुड मॉर्निंग सिंस माय चाइल्डहुड. सो I haven't used that in Hindi, but this is also true that I used to got a lot of messages from my parents, my like a friend, like another aunties and uncles who are very old. They used to send me a message. At that time I noticed, but still I don't use it in my conversation. So one time somebody asked me that, hey, what's the meaning of good morning in Hindi? You can't even believe that time I got blank. So sometimes it's quite complicated. If anyone says that, you just have to say that each and every word is Hindi. So that's quite difficult for us. Like for me, I'm talking about, I don't know much like about you.
I just want to add one point. What I think is the way we use Hindi normally in our day-to-day life. The thing is, many of the words are like the vocabulary, since we don't use it that often. So the problem is, like the example which you gave, in which you had to tell James, वो स्टेज पे खड़ा है, राइट? स्टेज का जो शब्द है वो मंच होता है, बट द थिंग इज वी डोंट यूज इट दैट ऑफन, सो इट टेक्स टाइम फॉर अस टू रिकॉल दैट. At the same time, if someone is talking in Hindi, we can understand it very well, and even if it's a word which we haven't used in a very long time, but still it will be somewhere in our subconscious mind, and we will be able to understand, and it won't be something like, oh, I don't know the meaning of this word. Even if the word is not known to us, but we might still be able to understand just from the context of that word. So I think still we are very good with the hearing part of Hindi, even if it's like some words which we haven't used in years. Or just for example, like this word also you said, like good morning. So I remember it from school, since we had this morning assembly and we would normally say Suprabhat, like Suprabhat. So again, the thing is, I might not have used this word in 10 years, but if someone uses it in a conversation, I might be able to recall it in a like without putting much effort or trying to recall what that word exactly was.
Yeah.
How do you say good morning in Hindi?
We say Shubha Prabhat or Suprabhat, maybe, I think.
Yeah, Suprabhat.
Suprabhat. In Marathi, we say Shubha Prabhat or Suprabhat.
So actually, Shubh means good and Prabhat is like morning. So it literally translates to that.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's the point. Like I think it's my perspective. Like it's my viewpoint. Like at least you should know your own native language in a good way. And yeah, you can learn 100 languages. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think at least you should all know your native language. So as Mohit told, like James ask this thing. So at least we should be ready for these things.
No, Rishi, what happened?
No, I got you.
No, I just want to add it. Last time, what happened, James, and there was another person who, like, she also wanted to learn Hindi. So I taught them for 1 hour. So in the middle of the conversation, when I was just trying to, saying that in Hindi, I just requested them that you need to translate into Hindi, and I was the one who was just trying to who was just trying to make a story in English. So they both, both of them were trying to speak in Hindi, but later on I got confused at the time of stage.
Yeah, that's truly that's possible. Like also it happens with me, Mohit. Actually, I'm also like sometimes I try to teach Hindi, although it's not my native language, but I have studied it from since school and Bollywood and all these things. So we have watched Hindi serials in our like home right from the childhood. So it's not a problem. But when I'm teaching Hindi to my friends who are not Indians or they don't know any Hindi, so at that time I also face problem. Like I don't know how to say the specific words in Hindi. Like I know in English, I can explain them in English, but when it comes to Hindi, I'm not able to teach them some words. Like I face difficulties.
That is true. I just want to add one point. So the point which you made, I absolutely agree with that. I think every person must be fluent with their native language, and it's something irrespective of whether or not you are not in India. I think it's something like you should never forget your roots, and it is one of those things which makes you stay connected with your country and your culture. And I think language is one of the most powerful tools, I would say. Even if I'm staying outside India for almost 1.5 years now, and I haven't visited India, but if there's one thing I think which still keeps me connected, it's the language. So I absolutely agree that one should never forget. And I think that's also one of the reasons I joined these parties, that I get an opportunity to speak in Hindi sometimes when there are people who want to practice it. And another point which I just want to make, which I still see it's kind of prevalent, maybe it's not as much prevalent in rural areas of India or like the tier 3 cities, or maybe not many of tier 2 cities. I still find a lot of pockets, like some of the middle class kids, or like the ones who go normally to these schools. Like I'm not generalizing it, I'm just telling something which I know from my experience, and even certain things which I grew up seeing. Since as a kid, I also was not like that fluent with English, since I studied in an army school, and for us, even though the school was an English medium school, but I mean, we still used to talk mostly in Hindi during the school. So I was never that fluent with English during my school days. And there were some really good private schools. And there was always this thing where people who would talk in Hindi, they were made to feel inferior in a way, I would say. So I think this is still one thing which I really, sometimes it makes me sad, because when I see now that I live in Germany, or when I travel or meet people from different nationalities and how much pride they take in their own language. Whereas I feel sometimes in India, there is this sense of, I don't know what is like the right word, but yes, there is this kind of segregation, like certain section of people, they're made to, they have this kind of superiority complex that they're good at English, and the ones who might not be fluent or might have trouble and would talk in Hindi. So people sometimes tend to look at them from an inferior point of view or lens. So I think that is one of the things which I really appreciate, that now we have the present government, and sometimes, like in a way, they have been trying to push for this Hindi language more, in comparison. And I just feel that even though English is important, it's the language which you need for work and for all the other things. But I still feel equal emphasis should be put on the regional languages. I won't say Hindi because still there are like a lot of debates, some parts of India, some states which are not as open to Hindi, I would say. But I also feel that maybe in the long run, India should actually push for at least one language, which I would say in this case, probably Hindi makes the most sense, that every Indian should have a knowledge of.